Alright everyone, welcome back again to more Muv-Luv Alternative. I gotta say everyone, I believe Sumika's progress and growth is just coming along pretty nicely. She's adapting pretty well, and I don't know how many more episodes we got before we're near the end, but I feel like we're getting there. Like everything is finally coming together, and with the way things are progressing, I feel like it won't be that far off from here. So again, if anything else, hope y'all continue to enjoy. Thank you again for the love and support. And let's see this all through. Oh, nothing. Sorry. It's too early to assume she's regaining her old self. Giving her that rabbit felt meaningful to me, but I can't expect too much this soon. My mind's really eager to connect this Sumika with the girl in my memories, but there's a good chance this could all just be a coincidence.
美味しいね。この味付け。
Yeah? Glad you like it. Go on, eat up. Regardless, she's still acting like a normal human being, which is a huge step forward. She showed some pretty dramatic improvement last night, too, but nothing quite this natural. But I did push her pretty hard yesterday, so I'd rather play it safe today. I won't try to goad her into acting like the Sumika I know. I'll just talk to her like any random person.
この味で思い出したんだけど、ちょっと前にも一緒に食べたよね。サバ味噌定食。
Huh? When was this? We did?
あれ、違ったかな。みつるぎさんや榊さんたちも一緒だったじゃない？
Maya and class rep? Is she getting those names from my memories? She should know those two in this world. But when did I ever eat miso boiled mackerel with the whole gang back in my world? It wasn't during the cook-off, and I don't remember it being in any of the lunches they made for me. Weird. Actually, maybe she's remembering a time she ate it with this world's version of me before. No, wait. It must have been Kasumi. Sumika couldn't have eaten anything a few weeks back because she was still just a brain. And she couldn't have eaten it with the other me either. This is Mrs. Kyozuka's signature recipe after all. And Kasumi already knows everyone from Squad 207. So Sumika must have read Kasumi's memories with me, and now she's treating them like her own. Or maybe Kasumi's been deliberately feeding her those memories to keep her from going insane. Well, shoot. Either way, this isn't great news. Now it's practically impossible to know which behaviors are coming from her own personal memories and not from someone else's. Even once Sumika's in better shape mentally and Kasumi can read her mind again, all of these memories will be jumbled together in one big heap.
おかしいな。間違ってたのかな。
Okay, I think I need to stop worrying about whether her memories line up with mine and start just interacting with her as she is now. If nothing else, I can at least take advantage of the fact that she's got my memories with Kasumi to come up with some good conversation starters.
余計なこと考えるのやめた。頭痛くなっちゃうしね。
Yeah, for sure. Wouldn't want that. Interesting. So she's convinced that her jumbled up memories are the source of her headaches, huh? Now, if only I could figure out what specific thoughts take more of a toll on her quantum conductive brain, then we'd be really getting somewhere. But right now, she's able to sustain a casual conversation for much longer than before. I don't want to experiment with risky topics that might undo that progress.
やっぱり私の勘違いだった？
So much for letting it go. Clearly, it's still bugging her. This could pose a problem. Oh, wait, you're right. I do remember that day. Sorry, it just slipped my mind for a sec.
たけるちゃんひどい。
I know, not cool. Sorry about that.
別にいいよ。
Huh?
関係ないことだから。
Oh. Just when I thought she was starting to loosen up a bit, she's gone right back to her old blank expression. Still, this is quite a difference from last night's intense mood swings. She may not be showing as broad a spectrum of emotions, but there's definitely some huge changes happening under the surface. In any case, she's making serious progress. Keep it up, Sumika.
もういらない。
What? You're full already?
こんなもの食べても無駄だよ。
Come on, that's not true.
早く訓練に戻りたいよ。殺したい。
That's a disturbing face. I'm gonna see that face a lot, aren't I? Well, now we're moving in a bad direction, but if I try to force the conversation onto a different topic, she'll just dismiss it as pointless. I might even induce another headache if I push too hard. Think. I'd better try slowly steer this into something at least tangentially related. Hey Tamika, what exactly do you do in training?
何言ってるの？あいつらを皆殺しにするための訓練に決まってるじゃん。
But is it in a simulator, I mean?
よくわかんないけど、ゲームみたいなやつだよ。ほら、タケルちゃんが好きだったさ。
Huh. A video game?
早く続きをしたい。殺して殺して殺して、全部殺したい。
Okay, so there are no video games in this world based on what Takeru knows. So she's getting memories from her other self? From my memories? Or... That's interesting. Tamika, you know about Valgrinon?
え？何言ってるの？そんなの当たり前じゃん。
Huh. So she has been reading my mind. She's taking Kasumi's memories and my own memories and adopting them as her own. Ah, okay, that makes sense then. If that's the case, then even if I try to use those memories to strike up a conversation, I'll never truly be talking to this world Tamika. I'll be talking to an amalgamation of her, myself, and Kasumi. Can I really call her Sumika if her memories are all fabricated? Is it really a good idea to use those memories as a base to kickstart her identity?
時間、もうないよ。そろそろ戻ろう。
Huh? Oh, right.
明日も一緒にお昼食べようね。
Okay, sounds good.
またお弁当作ってきてあげるよ。
Sweet. Looking forward to it. A lunchbox, huh? Is that another memory of mine she's adopted? Or did she use to make me lunch in this world too?
行こう、タケルちゃん。
Sorry, but I've got field training after this, so I can't walk with you all the way back.
じゃあ、夜は一緒にいられる？
I'll pop by sometime in the evening, but after that, we're doing night combat training down in the city. And that's gonna run really late.
訓練？いいな。訓練。
Kasumi said she'd come pick you up after lunch, so I'll hang around with you until then, okay?
私も一緒に訓練したいよ。
Sorry, no can do. Now you be a good girl and don't complain, or we won't be able to eat lunch together tomorrow.
そうか。じゃあ、しょうがないね。
Yep, that's right. Damn it. I'm going about this all wrong. It shouldn't matter whether she resembles my world Tamika or this world Tamika. I'm the only one who cares about that. As far as the rest of the world is concerned, that's totally irrelevant. As long as she's unmistakably human, all I need to be focused on is perfecting the 00 unit so we actually stand a chance against the beta. If I put my own selfish desires before that, I'll be making the exact same mistakes I did before, and I can't let that happen. Right now, humanity needs to come first. I can work on getting what I want after the job is done.
かすみちゃん、早く来ないかな。
素晴らしい成果じゃない。途中経過としては言うことないわ。
Really?
確かに 100% には程遠いけど、データを見る限り十分実用に耐える数値ね。少なくとも予定通り25日に運用評価試験を実施できるレベルよ。よくやってくれたわね。
Thanks. I appreciate it.
極東国連軍と帝国軍はあんたに最大級の感謝をするべきね。総力を挙げて準備していた評価試験が無駄にならずに済んだんだから。
Wait, why the IJF?
今日のデータのおかげで25日の評価試験に最終的なゴーサインが出るから、明日にでもいすみからブリーフィングがあるはずよ。
Sorry, I understand the UN's role in all this, but why would the IJF be involved in the 00 unit's evaluation?
明日になれば嫌でもわかるけど、今聞きたいの？
I really appreciate that. I want to know as soon as possible so I can plan accordingly.
じゃあ重要なところだけ。詳細は明日いすみから聞きなさい。
Okay.
00ユニットの運用評価試験は佐渡島で行われるわ。
What? Sadogashima?
そうよ。
But I thought this was just a practical assessment. That island is full of beta territory. There's a hive there and everything.
だからこそ佐渡島なのよ。00ユニットの運用目的を考えれば絶好のロケーションでしょ。
This is crazy. You're just gonna toss her right into the actual combat?
実戦以外にどうやって00ユニットの実用性を証明できるっていうのかしら。
But you said she'd only be put on the front lines after passing the assessment.
本当の最前線は大陸よ。戦略的に言えば佐渡島は全勝レベルでしかないわ。
What the hell, dude? Weren't you the one who kept saying Japan was on the front lines? Okay, but even so, don't you think it's a little early for this? She's not even completely stable yet.
もたもたしてたらオルタネイティブ5推進派が息を吹き返すわよ。ここで一気に畳みかける必要があるわ。
I realize that, but Sumika hasn't even trained in an actual TSF yet. She should at least...
だからこそあんたたちの部隊がいるんじゃない。
Well, yeah, but still.
どうしたの？絶対に彼女を守るんじゃなかったの？
I mean, I'll do my duty, sure, but there's no way in hell we can take out an entire beta hive all by ourselves.
安心しなさい。出撃するのはあんたたちだけじゃないから。さっきも言ったけど、極東国連軍と帝国軍が00ユニットを守るわ。
She did say she was looking into other options to compensate for the lack of battle-ready troops. I guess this is what she was talking about. So it's a joint operation then.
そうよ。少しは安心した？
After that huge debacle a couple of weeks back, I'm impressed you convinced them to cooperate on this.
オルタネイティブ計画自体は国連直轄だけど、第4計画は日本主導だからね。
Right, I remember Undersecretary Tamase mentioning that around the time the coup broke out. Excuse me. But I thought they were more or less forced into being the host country due to the fact that the Yokohama Hive was here, and they just shelled out the funds to establish the base and donated the military tech.
オルタネイティブ4は各国の次期計画案の中から日本案が採用されて始まったのよ。知らなかった？
But the proposal was entirely dependent on your theory, wasn't it? And you're an agent of the UN forces now.
確かにそうだけど、私はもともと帝国大学量子物理研究所に所属しているからね。
Oh, so then does that mean your theory is imperial property technically?
因果律量子論にしろ、人格数値化にしろ、国費で研究してたんだから、私個人のものですって言っても筋が通らないでしょ。
I guess not, no.
それに国連所属って言っても第4計画が動いている間だけ出向しているようなものよ。国連機関職員、つまり玉瀬事務次官と同じ国際公務員ってこと。
So in other words, even though you're technically a member of the UN, you're still thinking of Japan first and foremost. I know Undersecretary Tamase was. Pretty sure every decision he made was ultimately aimed at improving Japan's future.
日本の国益がどうこうなんて正直興味ないわね。
That doesn't exactly sound like a cooperative relationship.
私は自分の計画を成功させたいだけ。だけど、その結果が日本の国益に直結しているのは確かよ。日本政府はオルタネイティブ4の成功を望んでいる。だから協力する。自然じゃない？
Sure, I could see the government cooperating, but the IJF? Just judging from the coup d'etat incident, they sure as hell don't seem to like us very much.
確かにそこが困りどころだったのよね。
I know soldiers are expected to set aside personal bias in the name of duty, but given that Captain Sagiri was able to stage such a huge rebellion, they clearly got some serious anti-American and anti-UN elements in the ranks. We've never even practiced alongside the IJF before, and we're jumping straight into a joint operation with them? What makes you think this won't be a total disaster?
まさかとは思うけど、あんた分かってて聞いてるわけじゃないのよね。
Sorry? About what?
まあいいわ。
What's she trying to say? That I already know the answer, but I'm pretending I don't?
帝国軍との合同演習ならとっくに済んでるじゃない。
Huh?
あんたがさっきから言ってるクーデター未遂事件。あの時すでに国連軍と帝国軍は一つの指揮系統の下で戦っているのよ。
Alright, there were UN troops fighting alongside the IJF all across the country.
アメリカ軍の強行介入は余計だったけど、頼みもしないのに悪役を引き受けてくれたんだから、結果的に私たちは得したわね。それに、あんたが心配している 目先のさじで感情的になる連中はその事件で一網打尽にされてるはずだけど。
Huh.
しかも国連軍とはいえ日本人の部隊がアメリカ軍を差し置いて将軍を救出したことで、帝国軍は今とても私たちに好意的。
You didn't.
ついでに公務員殿下もあんたたちの任官に異例の祝辞を寄せるほどの感謝っぷりでしょ。ダメ押しにその時あんたたちとイスミたちが嫌というほど優秀性を見せつけたエクセム3を共同作戦参加の見返りに提供するのよ。
They signed up on this just for what? I mean, she did mention that it would serve as a huge bargaining chip, but still.
エクセム3に関してはこの基地に駐留する部隊に試験導入してからなんて慎重ぶってたけど、本当は喉から手が出るほど欲しいはずだわ。
The IJF unit on this base, she must mean Lieutenant Tsukuyomi's Imperial Royal Guard unit.
日本主導のオルタネイティブ4はうまくいく。新型 OS はタダで手に入る。悲願である佐渡島配部の排除は叶う。協力を断る理由が帝国側にあるかしら。
They couldn't.
そういうことよ。
I see. That explains why Sensei's been so busy lately. She's been meeting with the IGF to draft up a strategy and prepare for this huge operation. But there's one thing that's still bugging me.
素晴らしいわ。確実に未来を変えているという証拠よ。それにこの事態は私たちにとっては好都合よ。
That's what Yuko Sensei said back when the fighting first broke out. I highly doubt she was the mastermind behind the entire coup d'etat, but it's pretty plain to see that she got a lot out of it. Clearly, she must have known a rebellion was imminent prior to it actually happening, but decided to keep quiet about it, and instead made a ton of preparations for it that would spin the outcome in her favor. Which, of course, would imply that Chief Yoroi was in on it too.
何か言いたそうね。
Nope, nothing at all.
そう。
That's exactly what Yuko Sensei would have done, so there's no point in asking for confirmation. Maya once mentioned how important it is to be able to flip a negative situation to a positive one. Yuko Sensei absolutely has that talent. In terms of the quantum causality theory, that would mean that Yuko Sensei is far more apt than most of making subconscious decisions that lead her to ideal timeline. I think it's best that I leave all the political maneuvering and whatnot to her. I don't need to be constantly expressing childish reservations. My job here is to help Sumika. She's what I need to be focusing on right now. Then I can find whatever it is that made me a causality conductor, get rid of it, and fix all the worlds I interfered with. I understand why they're participating in the joint operation now. I'll trust your discretion and continue to devote my energy to tuning Sumika.
そう。頼んだわよ。
We still have 2 days before the evaluation. I want to do everything I can before then to stabilize Sumika.
それは結構だけど、あんた自身の訓練がおろそかにならないようにね。本番で連携できませんでした。じゃシャレにならないわよ。
Yes, I realize that. Don't worry. But isn't ensuring Sumika's stability what's most important?
そうね。
Do you have any idea why she's suddenly so stable? Like, could you tell from her data or my reports? If I know what I'm doing right, it'll make my job a lot easier.
データはともかく、あんたのウサギ作戦が大成功だったってことは確かでしょうね。
I mean, trust me, I'd love for that to be the reason, but how can you be so sure?
その理由、どうしても今聞きたい？
Huh? Why are you about to drop another truth bomb on me?
まあ、あんたにとってはそうとも言えるわね。
Huh. And you actually think I can handle it? Here I figured you were just getting my hopes up. Hell, I was convinced she'd evade the question before I even asked.
00ユニットの調律に関わるあんたの言動を今日まで見てきた結果だけど、私は今、利害が一致した人間としてあんたをかなり信用し始めているわ。
Huh.
あんたの精神的な成長に合わせて情報開示のコントロールをするつもりなのは変わらない。だけど、あんたが自力でたどり着いた疑問には答えてもいい頃だと思っているのよ。
So you're saying this answer might really upset me. But you trust me enough now that you think I'll be able to handle it anyway. Alright then, if you think I've earned your trust, then I'd like you to tell me.
確かに微妙な話なんだけど、00ユニットもここまで安定しているし、もう種を明かしても大丈夫かしらね。 本当にいいのね。
I'm all in. Let's go. Yes.
ウサギ作戦が成功だって理由、それは私の仮説が証明されたからよ。
Your hypothesis?
そう、因果律量子論における因果動態仮説の一つをあんたがバッチリ実証してくれたから。
Huh?
彼女の変化には白金が因果動態であることが大きく関係している。
What do you mean?
あっちの世界の鏡住処に因果動態である白金が関わることで、あんたに関する記憶が虚数時空間に流出したわね。
Yes.
同様に因果動態である白金が関わることで、この世界の鏡住処、つまり00ユニットにその記憶が流れ込んでいるのよ。
Huh? Wait, but you told me this world would be safe because it had a higher concentration of causality. Doesn't this flip the theory on its head? Then, am I gonna start causing horrific tragedies to occur in this world too?
心配しなくてもいいわ。因果動態としての影響力が現れるのは主体世界であるこの世界から客体世界に関わった時のみだから。
Interesting. So then, why is this world Sumika receiving memories from that world?
世界は平行を求める。その影響で因果動態を介して因果情報のやり取りが発生するのよ。
Ah, okay. Right. You told me that in the other world.
因果のやり取りに順序があることも話したわね。
Huh? We have?
ああ、そうね。あっちの私が話したはずだけど、もう一度言うわ。
What? Even though the other sensei already told me? Oh well, maybe she didn't go over that much detail.
まず因果動態の影響で客体世界に因果の欠損が発生し、次にその欠損領域に主体世界からの因果が流入する。これが順序。
Oh, so that's what she's talking about. Right. Yuko Sensei did say that people who'd lost the memories would be most susceptible to the real causality from this world.
一つ聞くけど、あんたから見てあっちの私に因果動態の影響は何かあった？
No, not really. She even told me she wasn't.
ところが実際は影響があったのよ。
Huh?
あっちの私も白金に関わる記憶は流出していたのよ。もちろん因果の軽い最近の記憶からね。
But she had instructions from you on how to prevent that, right? She should have been just fine. You told her to write down all of her memories of me and record all our conversations and review them on a regular basis. That's why she was safe, isn't it?
その対策があったから白金に関する記憶を結果的に失わなかっただけ。記憶の流出自体はそれとは別にちゃんと発生していたのよ。
I see. So it was just like Sumika and her diaries. Only difference is that Yuko Sensei and I didn't share any romantic feelings for each other, so the effects weren't as drastic.
つまり記憶が流出しても対策によって欠損領域が発生しなかったことで、この世界の因果の流入する余地がなかったってこと。
But then, if Yuko Sensei was arrested immediately after sending me back here, she wouldn't have been able to review those records anymore, and she'd forget all about me. Knowing her, though, I'm sure she took some form of precautions to ensure safety.
仮に発生したとしても、こっちの私が生きている以上、目立った影響はなかったと思うけど。
Right, that applies to the rest of my squad mates too.
あっちの私から吸い出された記憶がどうなるかっていうと、虚数時空間に漂うことになるはずだわ。あんたが転移の旅にばらまいた記憶と同じようにね。虚数時空間にはそういったものと同じような因果情報が無数に存在すると考えられているわ。それはそれぞれの世界の記憶そのものから日常的に流出している因果情報よ。
Yeah, and when fortune tellers and psychics predict the future, they're actually using a sort of sixth sense that allows them to perceive that information, right?
その通り。しかもそれは世界を無理やりつないだ場合とは違って、世界観の因果的な高低差とは無関係に情報を受け取ることができるらしいわ。つまり虚数空間に存在する因果情報は受け手の能力によって選別され引き寄せられるというわけ。
And you think that's how Sumika got those memories in this world? It wasn't a direct result of me being a causality conductor then?
そうかしら。あんたが戻ってくる前の00ユニットのデータに あっちの鏡住処の記憶を受け取った兆候は全く確認できないけど。
Well, yeah, but what do you expect? She'd only just regained her body and was dealing with extreme sensory overload. Not to mention traumatic flashbacks. Isn't it possible this just flew under the radar?
確かにそれもゼロではないはずだけど、彼女が白金を介してあっちの鏡住処の記憶を受け取ったという仮説を補強する別の事例があるのよ。
You can? But how?
いるのよ。あっちの世界の白金に関わる記憶を持っている人間が。
Huh?
しかもその人はあんたと頻繁に接触している。当然未来予知や占いの能力なんて持っていない。
Who is it? Is she talking about Kasumi?
私よ。
Huh? She's absorbed the memories of my world's Yuko-sensei? Are you serious?
本当よ。ただし因果の軽い最近のものだけね。
So then, the reason Sensei knew what happened over there without me telling her wasn't because she read it in the letter that her other self stuffed in her lab coat pocket.
だからって都合よく思い出せるような代物じゃないのよ。かなり潜在的な記憶として流入しているからね。
What do you mean?
さっき私が因果のやり取りに順序があるってことあんたに話したって勘違いしてたでしょ。
Yes.
あれはあっちの私の記憶とこの世界の私の記憶を別のものだって判別できなかったからなのよ。
But you immediately corrected yourself, didn't you? You said she told you about it in her letter.
あれはあんたの反応と状況からそういう結論にたどり着いて口でそう言っただけ。
Oh, you're a sly character, aren't you? Oh, I see.
そうなることを理論で分かっている私でさえ流入したあっちの記憶ともともと持っていた記憶とを識別するのは難しいのよ。流入した記憶を元の持ち主と同じレベルで鮮明に思い出すことができればはっきり差がわかるんだけど、それは理論上絶対にできないはずだからね。
What makes you say that?
それは流出させる記憶の関連付けを因果動態が決定したからよ。だからどうしても関連情報に欠落がある。
I see. So that's why she couldn't rack her brain to retrieve the necessary equations to complete her theory, for example.
確認はしていないけど記憶の流入は私だけじゃなく榊や三剣にも発生しているはずよ。
What? Shouldn't we be a little more worried about that?
全く問題ないわ。
Why not?
まずこの世界オリジナルの記憶との関連付けができない以上相当なきっかけを与えない限り記憶として思い出すことすらできないはず。
So something tells me that's gonna happen down the line, huh?
そして万が一何かのきっかけで思い出せたとしてもこの世界の人間はそれを夢か空想だと考えるでしょうね。彼女たちは別の確率世界が存在するなんてことを知りもしないし、その姿があんたの言う元の世界だっていう情報も知らない。仮に知っていたとしても関連情報の欠落が補えない以上その記憶にまつわる漠然とした思いや印象しか心に残らないはずよ。
I see. Yeah, that is kind of how dreams feel. Like you could have a dream in which all of your friends were elementary schoolers again, for example, and it would pretty much be on par for the course. To the people of this world, memories of a peaceful world without any beta at all probably would feel like nothing more than a dream, sadly.
流入した記憶は自分のオリジナルと区別がつかない。記憶の復元にはきっかけと関連付け、欠落情報の保管が必要。ここまで話せばもうわかるでしょ。
Do you mind if I talk myself through this?
どうぞ。
By interacting with me, the 00 unit absorbs stray memories from the other world Sumika. And whether romantic or not, we can at least be sure that Sumika had strong feelings for me in this world before I died. Since that emotion correlates with how my world Sumika felt about me, none of these memories feel out of place, so she began to adopt them as her own. And while they may have been fragmentally at first, she's slowly been filling in the contextual gaps with the images Kasumi's projected to her, and the ones she's read from both our minds. In other words, we'd already given her plenty of contextual information to work with, so she was all set to integrate those memories into her psyche. All she needed was a trigger. And that's why the rabbit plan was a success. right?
おおむねその通りよ。そして今日のサバ味噌定食も結果的にはかなり良かったわ。
What, that stuff we had for lunch?
鏡隅かのリーディングで社に発生した記憶の自己同一化現象が00ユニットにも発生するという確証を得られたのよ。このまま順調にいけば、この世界の鏡隅かオリジナルの記憶も芋づる式に回復していくはずだわ。
I see. So basically, we'd be working backwards, drawing out her old memories by establishing correlations with the new ones. If I can help her get back her own memories, that would be a huge relief. I know it's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but I kind of felt bad about just overwriting them.
とにかくあんたは今のところ私の期待に十分応えている。正直に言えば感謝すらしているわ。
You know, based on what you just told me, it almost sounds like there was more to me getting this job than just she reacts differently to you. See if you can figure something out.
たったそれだけの理由で人類存亡の鍵を握る最重要兵器を個人の裁量で何とかしろだなんて言うわけないわ。
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't do something that crazy unless there was more to it.
それは賢明なことだわ。
There's no way in hell she'd have entrusted me with something so important without some sort of rationale. I knew there had to be something she wasn't telling me.
因果動態によって引き起こされる因果交換現象は理論上の可能性としては予測されていたわ。だから想定しうるあらゆる状況の対策を考えて、あっちの世界の私に数式をオーダーしに行くあんたに持たせたのよ。
Right. I remember the other Yuko sensei mentioning that the instructions accounted for the possibility of me running back there to escape from this world and being unable to return.
その現象を実際に確認できたのは数式をオーダーしたあんたが戻ってきた後よ。
You mean you couldn't tell immediately?
そうね。あの後何度か会っているうちに身に覚えのないあんたとの記憶が認識できたのよ。さっきも言ったけど、自分の理論と仮説を知らなければ記憶のバックアップシステムのバグだと思う程度だったわ。
But how did you manage to confirm they weren't yours?
あんたが数式を回収してきた転移実験の直後、バックアップ装置のログと最新の記憶を比較して記憶の増加を実証したのよ。
I see. So you knew this was happening even way back then. In which case, I probably would have ended up back to the other world regardless. Even if Sergeant Jinguji hadn't died and I hadn't run away, since he would have probably made up some half-assed excuse about it being necessary to complete the 00 unit and save this world, and I would have fallen for it. But at least if things had happened that way, the other Manimo-chan wouldn't have had to die.
それ以降はあんたと会った後に必ずその作業をすることでオリジナルの記憶と流入した記憶を識別して認識していたんだけど、さすがにここのところ忙しくてね、ちょっとサボったせいでさっきみたいな勘違いをしたってわけ。
So basically, we can be pretty certain I was the one who brought Tamika's memories back. Sensei, I don't mean for this to sound critical, but
何よ。
why didn't you just tell me all this when you first gave me this route tuning assignment? I mean, I feel like it would have helped me bring the 00 unit closer to completion in a much more efficient manner.
一度でも逃げ出したあんたをそこまで信用できなかったからよ。
Well, I can definitely understand that, but it still feels a little off.
そうかしら。
What I'm about to say is probably gonna sound conceited, but please don't take it the wrong way.
いいわよ。言ってごらんなさい。
Based on everything you've just told me, you couldn't possibly have tuned the 00 unit without my cooperation.
どうしてそう思うの？
Well, even back when Tamika was still a brain, you knew how unstable her psyche was from Kasumi's readings. There's no way you would have selected her as the candidate to convert into the 00 unit unless you were positive you'd be able to stabilize her after the fact. And yes, I recognize that you completed the procedure after I'd already run away, so maybe you could have managed without me. It's entirely possible that you could have gotten her up to bare bones level of functionality just by giving her a convincing artificial body, and projecting the images Kasumi had already taken from me. But I really don't think you'd have gambled on this unless you knew for a fact she'd be able to carry out her mission as the 00 unit. The only way I could see you pursuing this approach is if you knew ahead of time that if I ever tried to run away, I'd eventually come back to this world. Of course, that's not to say you planned on me running away, or on Sergeant Jinguji's death, for that matter. But you're definitely the kind of person who finds a way to take advantage of events no matter how disastrous they might seem. And more importantly, I've seen firsthand just how meticulous you are in the planning process. Anything that could possibly go wrong, you've got countermeasures for. In retrospect, it's actually pretty amazing that they even managed to blindside her with Alternative 5's enactment in the other timeline. It's possible you only let me run away because you already had a contingency plan for how to do this without me, but from what I've seen, I sincerely doubt that. You told your other self how to send me back here and lied to her to ensure Sumika's memories would be sucked into this world. You made up an excuse to explain my absence to the rest of my unit and kept my room just the way I left it. You modified the transfer device so nobody would forget me while I was in the other world. You didn't cancel the work being done on my Shiranui and still had them strip it out for me. The fact that you made all these arrangements seems to imply that you were banking on me coming back from the very beginning, which is why I have a hard time believing you just happened to let me go, and then just happened to revise your plans to include me once I got back. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. You don't have to confirm or deny any of it.
どうして？
Because I don't need to know the answer. All I need to do is what I came here to do.
そう？頼もしいわね。だけど、大元の質問には答えておくわ。今後の調律の参考になるかもしれないから。
Fair enough.
客体世界において、白金への思いの強さに比例して因果動態の影響を受けるという現象は、理論的には予測できなかったのよ。
Huh?
それを知ったのは、あんたが戻ってきてからよ。白衣に入っていた手紙にそう書いてあった。
I see, so she didn't learn that from the memory she absorbed then.
だから、記憶の流出と逆の工程をたどる因果動態を通じての記憶の流入にも、白金への思いが強く影響する可能性があると予測できるわ。もしあんたがあの時すべての事情を知っていたら、流入した記憶を関連づけられていない精神的に不安定な状態の彼女がリーディングでそれを読んだ時、その事実をどう判断するかは予測できない。
Yeah, good point.
だから彼女の記憶の関連づけができるまではあんたには話さないって決めてたのよ。そして
But I've been treating this tuning like a mission and carefully calculating a lot of what I say and do around her. Wouldn't she have seen those thoughts too?
そう言うけど、あんたは鏡澄香に対する恋愛感情をゼロにはしなかったはずよ。市場があるって堂々と言っていたわよね。
Yeah.
はっきり言うけど、いくら恋人にそっくりでも、普通の人間は作り物に恋愛感情は抱かないものよ。正直に言えば、鏡澄香の外見と精神を持った00ユニットをあんたが憎む可能性の方が高いと思っていたわ。だからこっちも慎重になった。あんたが鏡澄香と同じ思いを00ユニットへ寄せるように最大限の準備と努力をしたのよ。
So then why did you make a point of emphasizing the fact that she wasn't human? Wasn't that a ploy to appeal to my emotions too?
それはあんたの想像に任せるわ。私は利害が一致していればそんなことどうでもいいのよ。
Sensei.
でもさっきも言った、あんたに感謝しているっていうのは本当。正確に言えば、あんたの鏡澄香に対する思いに感謝しているのよ。今日の話で分かったでしょ。00ユニット、いえ、彼女が完成するかどうかはあんたにかかってるのよ。
Yeah.
頼んだわよ。
I know. That was a hefty conversation. No tears left to shed. And that was episode 8? Woo! I'm exhausted. I stayed up so late looking up at the data from Kasumi's readings I hardly slept. Just let me sleep a little longer. Just until the wake-up call. Kasumi, what are you doing? It's freezing. Huh?
なんだよ。
Sumika?
たけるちゃん、かすみちゃんの方がいいの？
No, that's not it at all. What are you doing here? Why are you the one waking me up?
せっかく起こしに来てあげたのに、かすみちゃんじゃなくて残念だったね。
Oh boy. Here we go. No, I didn't mean it like that. Holy crap, she's acting even more like Tamika than she was yesterday. She's almost indistinguishable from the real thing.
おかしいな。
Huh? What is?
私、毎朝起こしてあげてたよね。違うのかな？
Yeah, totally. Why do you ask? Does it not feel like that?
よくわからない。
Oh.
夢だったのかなっていう感じがして。
Nah, it wasn't a dream. Not much I can assure you.
うん。
I see, so not all the borrowed memories have been fully integrated yet. Kasumi's been waking me up every morning though. Chances are she only got the idea from reading Tamika's mind while she was still a brain, and making those memories her own. Either that or she read it from my memories of Tamika doing it in my world. Anyway, I'm guessing Kasumi must have projected that image into Tamika, or Tamika must have read it herself.
ねえ、たけるちゃん。今日はどのくらい一緒にいられるかな？
Well, I've got a full day of training ahead of me, both simulator and field exercises.
訓練？
Crap, shouldn't have said that.
そっか。じゃあ仕方ないね。夜は会えるかな？
Wait, that didn't set her off? Wow, that feels like a really huge step forward. What's wrong? Another headache?
なんか最近多いんだよね。なんだろうこれ。
These headaches used to lead to panic attack or throw her into a fit of rage aimed at the beta, but today, it's like she's hardly even phased.
なんだろう。頭痛いの嫌だな。
I think her memories are finally integrating with her current self. That's the reason why her headaches are starting to fade more and more. I can't believe she's not freaking out at all. This is incredible, Tamika. Want to talk to Yuko-sensei about it? I'll come with you.
ゆうこ先生？光月先生じゃダメだよ。
Why not?
保健の先生じゃないと。やっぱりお医者さんかな。
Okay, she's clearly getting confused with my memories right now, right? No, wait. Maybe it's something that leaked over from the other Sumika. I think you're getting a little mixed up. Yuko-sensei is the closest thing we've got to a school nurse here.
そうだっけ？
Yeah, and she's a pretty good one too.
じゃあ光月先生に見てもらうよ。
Cool. I'll go with you.
ごめんね。
Come on, don't apologize. It's not your style. Guess she really can't tell the difference between her own memories and the ones she absorbed from the other Sumika, and the ones from my original timeline. It's like Sensei was saying yesterday, she's trying to piece them all together into a single cohesive framework. Maybe these headaches are a result of her noticing contradictions in these disjointed memories.
訓練についてのブリーフィングを始める前に貴様たちに伝えることがある。本日未明、国連軍第11軍司令部より極東国連全軍に対し佐渡島配部制圧作戦が発令された。機会あるごとに触れてきたが、本作戦は在日国連軍及び帝国本土防衛軍との大規模共同作戦だ。作戦名は高21号作戦。これは佐渡島配部の帝国軍戦略故障高21号目標に由来する。作戦実施は来る12月25日。すでに国連帝国両軍は日本海沿岸部に集結中だ。当横浜基地からは我が A01 部隊のみが特殊任務のために参加することになる。
So we're gonna be the only ones going to Sadagashima for the evaluation? Well, even if there are other units she felt she could use, they can't leave the alternative 4 headquarters and defend it. That's probably one more reason Yuko sent to negotiate with the Empire.
本作戦における我が部隊の任務はオルタネイティブ計画より試験的に投入される新型兵器の支援及び護衛だ。
The first lieutenants didn't even flinch. They must have been informed prior to the briefing. But since she didn't mention it by name, I can assume the 00 unit hasn't been declassified yet.
我が部隊は明朝0400横浜基地を出撃。陸路にて帝国軍高田基地まで前進し、前期起動。帝国海軍の戦術機母艦大隅に移動後、海路にて佐渡島を目指す。甲21号作戦全体の概要は本日の訓練終了後、司令および副司令から直々にご説明いただく予定だ。
Wait, the CO? Not just Yuko Sensei? I mean, this is definitely a massive operation on the whole, but as far as the alternative program is concerned, we're just taking the opportunity to conduct the 00 unit's practical assessment, right? It's not all of the Yokohama base troops were being mobilized or anything. Why would the base commander need to make an appearance?
この任務では我々が正面に立ってドンパチやるわけではない。国連軍と帝国軍が引き詰めた赤絨毯の上をお上品に歩いていくようなものだ。したがってこれまで貴様たちがやってきた訓練で十分対処できる。自信を持って臨めばいい。ベータ支配地域での戦闘だ。決して油断するな。
Ma'am.
何か質問は？
大尉、新型兵器に関しての質問は可能でしょうか？
新型兵器の詳細は訓練後のブリーフィングで伝達されるだろ
う。では今日の訓練はその任務を想定したものではないということですか？
もちろん任務を想定したものだ。それはここ数日の訓練にも組み込まれていたものだ。
Wait, seriously? I had no idea. I guess that makes sense though. The captain already knew we had a big operation coming up, and I wouldn't be surprised if the first lieutenants were informed about it too. I can't imagine they wouldn't adjust the training regimen to prepare for it, especially with all these new recruits.
念のために確認なんですけど、背部突入は任務に含まれますか
？That's a good question. If the whole point of this is to test Sumika's mind-reading capabilities, we're gonna need to get pretty damn close. But we shouldn't need to actually go inside the thing, right?
最悪の場合はそれもあり得るが、今回の任務では想定外だ。安心しろ。
柏木、どうしてもって言うなら私も付き合うけど。いえ、遠慮しておきます。
I see, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility. But we're still gonna have to be pretty close to the hive, otherwise we won't be able to get the vital information Yuko-sensei is looking for. Although, this could also just be a pretty basic test, I guess. Recount's not really the objective here. I should ask her later. Oh, it's finally over. Nothing but mock battles and teamwork exercises from dawn till dusk, and right before the big operation no less. I think the captain's perfectionism is starting to get a little out of hand. Normally, I could handle a rigorous schedule like this, but today, I'm just beat. I've been spending so much time reviewing Kasumi's reading logs and making that Santa rabbit, I've hardly slept at all recently. This can't be good for my health. As a surface pilot, I'm being pretty irresponsible.
何よ、そんなとこに下手って。だらしないわね。
Meanwhile, you sound like you're still raring to go.
司令のブリーフィングにはちゃんとシャワー浴びてから来なさいよ。
On it, Chief.
どうした白金。天才英士があの程度の連成で音を上げたのか？
I'm pathetic, I know. No surprise that the first lieutenants are all used to the captain tell us training regimen by now. Clearly, it's intended to test our mental fortitude as well.
お疲れ様、少尉。早瀬中尉にあれだけ振り回されていたんですもの。仕方ないわよね。
Lieutenant Kazuma, you're such a sweetheart.
早瀬中尉は戦闘に性的快感を感じる一種の変態だ。だから訓練は彼女にとって自慰行為のようなものだからな。
Huh? Where the hell did that come from?
って白金が言ってます。
Bullshit.
ごまかすな。ぶっ飛ばすわよ。
信じてもらえないとは。
Well, serves you right.
ちょっとあんた、待ちなさいよ。
これお飲みなさい。飲んでおけば明日が楽よ。
Oh, hey. Thanks, I really appreciate... Ah! Oh, no. Oh, God, this is the nasty-ass drink the captain gave me a few days back.
どうしたの白金少尉
Oh, no. It's just... Well, I know the captain drinks this stuff, and if Lieutenant Kazuma's singing its praises, then it must be good for you.
ああ遠慮しなくていいのよ私の分は部屋にたくさんあるの
No kidding. Sounds like you're quite the health nut.
ええそれも英士の大切なお仕事の一つですもの
Well, she's right about that. The best medicine is always the hardest to swallow, as they say. Man, I could really stand to learn a few things from her.
なのにそれがそんなに美味しい飲み物で叶ってしまうなんてちょっと後ろめたいわねあら嫌だわミサエさん先に行ってしまうなんてひどいそれじゃあ白金少尉お先に
Okay, see you around. There must be something seriously wrong with Lieutenant Kazuma's taste buds.
珍しいこともあるものね白金がへばるなんて本当だ大丈夫
タケルは特殊任務との掛け持ちだからなまして今日の訓練内容では致し方なかろう
I'm fine. It's no biggie. I'm just taking a little breather.
今日の早瀬注意の機動連携すごかったからね特に K さんは注意のバックアップだったから相当疲れたんじゃない
そうだねストームヴァンガードは特に機動力が勝負ですからね
But yeah, those exercises were a nightmare. Though I guess they probably kicked it up a notch to get us ready for the real thing.
確かにかなり疲れたなブリーフィング前に一休みしたいのでな私は先に失礼するぞ
私も
Okay, see ya.
じゃあねタケルさん後でね
Later.
ちょっと本当に力抜けちゃってもしっかりしてよ君はストームヴァンガードなんだからね
I know. You're still spunky as ever, I see. Thought I expect no less of Lieutenant Hayase's aspiring protege. Good to see there aren't any hard feelings about that little argument we had yesterday.
そうそう茜のためにも頑張ってよえ
Hey, you, don't stir the pot again. Now, what the hell are you even implying?
ちょっとハルコ何よそれどういう意味えだって茜はストームヴァンガードのポジション白金から奪わないと気が済まないんでしょ
Dude, please don't provoke her. Not after what happened yesterday. You seriously are way too honest sometimes. I need to have been one of your younger brothers.
何言ってんのよ別にそんな無理しない無理しない憧れの早瀬注意は白金がお気に入りだもんね
What are you laughing about?
ああそういうことね納得したわ千鶴まで何言ってるんだよ私先に行くわよ早くシャワー浴びたいしじゃあ白金また後であちょっと待ってよ
I told you this isn't funny. Damn you, Kashiwagi. Don't think I'm just gonna let this slide. A little revenge is definitely in order. And I know just how to do it. Hey, Kashiwagi. You feeling a little thirsty?
ああよくわかったね
Good, she's taking the bait. Well, if you want, you can have this. Lieutenant Kazuma gave it to me, but I'm really not at all that thirsty.
いいの悪いね
Oh, totally. It's all yours.
ありがとうありがたくいただくね
You fool. That stuff tastes like rat poison. One sip and you'll be begging for mercy. I bet you she ends up liking it.
へえいいな
Sorry, but I'm fresh out. Guess it's just not your day. Trust me, you lucked out big time. You don't want anything to do with that stuff.
半分あげるよ鎧
本当春子さんありがとう
じゃあ後でね
じゃあね
Well, she asked for it. Can't say I didn't warn her. Whew. But man, it's surprising to see that everyone's still so upbeat even though we're about to be deployed. For most of us, this is going to be our first hive-related operation. Only the first lieutenant and second lieutenant Kazuma have prior experience with this. Sure, we're not spearheading the assault or anything, But that doesn't mean this mission isn't highly dangerous. Suzumiya and Kashiwagi have more experience than the rest of us from Squad 207. Our only run-ins with live combat were during the coup d'etat attempt and the beta ambush during the XM3 trials. But we weren't armed during the trials technically. That probably doesn't even count as combat experience. And the coup incident only gave us experience fighting other humans, though it definitely still took a huge emotional toll on our squad. In that sense, fighting the beta might actually be easier for these guys. I think I get it now. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. All of my squad mates were born and raised in this world, so risking their lives in the struggle against the beta just comes with the territory. Meanwhile, I've only spent a few years here and it definitely shows. For these guys, it must have been a huge culture shock to have to go to war with other human beings. Whereas back in my world, those were the only kind of wars we had, so it didn't faze me at all. They're less conflicted about fighting the beta, although that doesn't mean they're not afraid of death, of course. I mean, Sergeant Jinguji said it's pretty common for pilots to wet themselves during the first encounters. Still, they find strength in the knowledge that their sacrifice is still going to save countless lives, so they won't be dying in vain. It's how they're able to stay positive like this, even in the face of adversity. And look at me now. Even I'm feeling remarkably calm about all this. Sure, I had to go to hell and back to get to this point, but I think I finally caught up to everyone else in terms of mental fortitude. Well, no, I still got a ways to go. I have to destroy whatever it is that made me a causality conductor and undo the damage I did to the other world by running away. I finally found my purpose here. Something that only I can do. But like Lieutenant Hayes has said, I can't be too focused on the bigger picture. I need something more tangible too. A personal goal I can actually achieve. I think I found one. I'm gonna protect this world's Sumika. I'm gonna keep the 00 unit safe. It might not be the most selfless goal, but I think it's the main thing keeping me sane right now. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
諸君も知っての通り、本日未明、国連軍第11軍司令部及び帝国軍参謀本部より高21号作戦が発令された。佐渡島にあるベータ5、高21号目標制圧を目的とする国連と帝国の大規模合同作戦だ。なお本作戦は気象条件に関係なく決行される。A01 部隊の任務に先立ち、まず本作戦の概略を説明する。本作戦の第一目的は高21号目標の無力化、第2に敵施設の占領及び可能な限りの敵情報収集である。高21号目標は朝鮮半島の高20号目標と並び、ベータの日本侵攻における前進基地となっている。西日本全域を緩衝地帯に持つ九州戦線に対し、高21号目標は日本の柔らかい横腹に突き立てられた県である。この脅威を取り除くことにより、樺太日本、台湾、フィリピンからなる極東防衛ラインの戦略的安定をさらに強固なものとするのだ。では次に作戦の概要を説明する。背部攻略のセオリーに従い、作戦の第一段階では国連宇宙総軍の装甲駆逐艦隊による機動爆撃が行われる。衛星軌道から佐渡島に極超音速で降り注ぐ対レーザー弾頭弾の雨を降らせるのだ。敵の迎撃と同時に佐渡島周辺に展開した帝国連合艦隊第2戦隊が艦砲及びロケットによる長距離砲火攻撃を開始。この第一波攻撃も機動爆撃同様対レーザー弾によるものだ。敵の二次迎撃による重金属群の発生を合図に、全艦多目的運搬砲弾による砲撃に切り替え、以降徹底的な面制圧を行う。
Gotcha, so the orbital bombs are basically just a decoy since they know the heavy and standard laser class are gonna ship them away before they get low enough to create an effective heavy metal cloud. That's when they'll launch a naval saturation bombing while all the laser class are still in their refractory period. Whichever shells they intercept first, some of those anti-laser rounds will get close enough to create a massive heavy metal cloud, protecting the next wave of shelling from the lasers. That's a pretty solid strategy. Although, I can't say it's the most eco-friendly plan. They won't use G-bombs because of their negative effects on the environment, but polluting the atmosphere with heavy metals is totally fine. It's like how nukes are bad, but the depleted uranium rounds our TSFs use are A-OK. Can't say I understand that logic, but maybe it's just because I grew up in a peaceful world.
この段階で艦隊の砲弾消耗は7割。これは極東国連軍と帝国軍の砲弾備蓄総量の 50% だ。